This episode of Nerds on Coffee is brought to you by the Broglie Box. It is an all-inclusive quarterly subscription box designed to promote optimal mental health and overall wellness. Each beautifully designed box includes full-size curated gift items such as essential oils, stress and anxiety combating tools, coloring therapy books, candles, aromatherapy, journals, calendars, self-help guides, and more. Broglie Box products are sourced from well-known health and wellness brands, as well as small independent crafters and artisans. Each box also includes a quarterly issue of Peace of Mind magazine, featuring timely and useful articles, guides, and visual tools from a variety of published psychologists, psychiatrists, and mental health bloggers. Broglie Box is an all-encompassing resource kit for those who need support or want to help someone else. Right now, we're partnering with them and we're offering a promo code. So if you go to brogliebox.com and enter NERDS10, that'll get you 10% off your first box. And hopefully that will inspire you to want to continue the subscription, keep it going, give a box as a gift. Again, that's brogliebox.com. That's BROGLIEBOX.com. And enter in NERDS10, NERDS10. And I'll get you 10% off your first box. Continue to dive in, learn about the company, learn about the box, and find out how you can use it for yourself or for someone else. And stick with us.
It's coffee. It's comics. It's music.
It's Nerds on Coffee.
So what is up, everyone?
Hello. Nerds on Coffee. Again.
I feel like our tone is that of like an apocalypse just happened. It's like Nerds on Coffee, 72 AD, after destruction.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to, because I spent so much fucking time mixing the Project Z thing, I'm just going to quote the intro and be like, June 7th, 2164. Or whatever the intro is of that.
121 years after impact.
After impact,
I found
it. I found the Triarch.
Oh, that's amazing.
I could probably quote that whole thing word for word because I had to listen to it so many times.
For those that are listening, if you go check out Project Z on Instagram, you'll see the motion comic that Hero created for this brand, which is a music festival that's coming out in July. By the time this episode goes live, the motion comic will be out, so people can go check it out. It's pretty dope. We had a lot of fun making it. It was one of those projects where Live Nation came to us to kind of create something unique for their brand, and yeah, we executed it, and Kyle over here kind of made it all come to life with some dope sound effects.
Yeah, mixed all the voices, gave the characters their, like how their voices sound, did all the sound design, mixing, super fun. Yeah, it's cool. Like the whole motion comic premise is still very new to everyone, but it's super exciting. Like I'm getting way like more and more into it. The more of them that I'm like working on with you guys and kind of like seeing just like the hybrid style of animation of like having a still image, but then it like like the panels shift for you obviously as the text moves in and out. There's a lot of fun sound design to kind of help make you feel like you're watching something, but then you're reading it, and it's super cool. So I'm into the whole motion comic thing.
I wanted you to go through Dark Phoniex.
Oh, yeah.
That Reddit thing.
I haven't watched it. Oh, it just is not, like, people. I sent Matt a link about how there's a subreddit that was talking about how Dark Phoniex did not do well at all. And, like, people just, like, didn't like it. And it also was, like, the franchise's weakest film debuting. And just didn't do well. Like the only other one that did as bad was the Wolverine. So
which Wolverine? The original one, not Logan.
No, not Logan, but like the Wolverine. It was called like the Wolverine.
Oh yeah, that one's really bad.
Yeah, yeah. So didn't do well. Which like I guess I haven't seen it yet, and so like I don't really have an opinion on it because I can't come up with one because I haven't seen
Phoenix?
It. Yeah, because I haven't seen it.
Pete said it's atrocious.
It didn't look bad. Like I was excited about it. I was like, cool, another X-Men movie. Haven't had one in a while. Obviously, excellent cast. obviously excellent story. Like, so where was the ball dropped on it? Like,
I just think it's a fact that came from 20th Century Fox.
yeah, they don't do good.
No,
Like-
thank God Marvel has it back now,
I know.
right?
Well, they ruined Fantastic Four. We've talked about this so much. They ran Fantastic Four in the ground. They were on the way to running X-Men in the ground.
Oh, 20th Century Fox was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
20th Century
horrible.
Fox.
It's
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the Rotten Tomatoes to load on my phone, but it just won't. No, got it. Yeah, it gave Dark Phoenix a 23,
Oh my God. Yeah, that's pretty low.
but it still made $33 million last week. So it's like, who gives a fuck, right?
They should, because that's still less than what they spent on it.
True.
They were losing a lot of money.
True. Let's see what other things came out. Did you watch Chernobyl yet?
No, we've talked about it a little bit. I haven't
Yeah,
checked. I've heard
it's
some other
pretty
people talk about it
fire.
too.
Yeah, pretty fire.
I've heard some other people talk about.
Trying to see what else is here that makes sense. They haven't rated Shaft yet, but I'm pretty excited about that one.
Yeah,
And then
Shaft is gonna be good.
and then you have RocketMan, which I actually heard it did really well on Rotten Tomatoes. Mm-hmm. But I heard it wasn't that great. Or I should rephrase that. I heard that it wasn't as great as Bohemian Rhapsody, which, being that it's a piece coming out by the same director within 9 months of it, I think that timing-wise, it just was a bad move.
So people are saying, or you're speculating that it's not as good as Bohemian Rhapsody?
No, that's what people are saying.
I haven't even seen Rocketman yet, and I can already tell you it's better than Bohemian Rhapsody. Like,
didn't it
Bohemian
win Best
Rhapsody
Movie?
it was like mediocre. It was okay.
But I heard Rocketman's actually like a musical. It's not like an actual movie.
Well, then who knows? I have no idea. Yeah, unpopular opinion time. I didn't think Bohemian Rhapsody was that great. I thought that it way glossed over the inner workings of Queen and dove way too heavily into the over-stylized look at Freddie Mercury's life, and then sensationalized what it was like to be in a band and be in a studio and write a song and come out with music way more than it ever should have. And like, that's not even like, you're not in the studio in a fight with someone, literally already hit someone in the face, and then your bass player starts playing the bass line to Another One Bites the Dust, and you guys are like, yeah, that's right, that's what it's about the music, whatever. I'm like, that's not how that shit went down. And even for Hollywood, that's fucking embarrassing. Like, so that was like my whole thing with it, is like, I felt a little like, I don't know what it was. Like, I just didn't think that first of all, I don't think that it was awful. I'm not like trying to shit on the movie and say that it was bad, but I think I was expecting a lot more from it, considering that it won Best Fucking Picture. And then I watch it also already knowing a decent amount about Queen, because I love Brian May. He's one of my favorite guitar players on the planet. But like, that's just like not. What do you want me to believe that like that's what it's like in the studio? Like, that's what I do for a living. No, it's fucking not. Like, no, it's
So
not.
it's just an elevated version of We Are Your Friends. It's just
Right.
It's not that bad, but it's still not
Yeah,
there.
I just wasn't that into it. I mean, it was okay. I enjoyed watching it. It's not like I had a problem watching the movie, but after it was over, I was like, well, I'm really glad that I didn't spend money on this in the theater.
Wow.
You know, which
Yeah,
that's like my marker. You
I'm
know,
gonna be real. I didn't watch it all the way yet. I started it a few times. I hated it.
oh yeah, so you couldn't even get through it.
I wasn't into it. But I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not into things really that aren't like action.
It's really fair.
You know, that's just not. It's not my cup.
It's hard for me to watch movies like about my industry told by people who aren't in the industry. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's like, and I'm not saying that there's not some type of crossover.
Oh, look
It's like,
who it is.
We have a visitor.
We have a visitor. Hello, visitor.
I'm going to I wish I would have had like a microphone in front of like my creaky studio door, because that would have been the perfect. Maybe I'll actually like mix that in and post and just have like this aggressive chamber door sound opening.
I love it. Maybe with like heaven bells.
Our friend Frost just walked in, by the way.
How you doing, Frosty? You have a good video call with your mom?
Yep.
Is she in East Coast? East Coast time? West Coast time? Your
Mama.
She's Nashville time. What is that, Central?
No.
No, I think that's East Coast, right?
No, Nashville?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Let me check.
East Coast?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. I think you're... No.
Nashville.
What's your mom doing up at 1:30 in the morning?
zone.
Just hanging out with you, or like on FaceTime?
No, Frosty's right. It is Central.
Oh, Central. Whatever.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, midnight and a half. Night noon.
But for those of you that don't know, you redid your studio.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not talking about Bohemian Rhapsody anymore.
Yeah, no, I gotta get off that shit.
No, I made a new guitar mount, like rack for my boat, because they used to be in like a normal like guitar boat. I had like 15, 16 guitars in this guitar boat, and they were on this table, and I was using underneath the table for storage while I like moved my storage, and then I built a new rack and then hung them all up on the wall and then moved all my guitar amps underneath them. And so the whole wall now is just like designed better. And then there's like more room in here for tables and like activities and shit. And so, you know,
That's dope.
fun. I want to build a bigger table for like
For us.
for the podcast for people, because
That'd be
like this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use this table as the base and then just build a new top and like retrofit a top on it that it just like has some more room. And then like I'll have like in the table like microphone stands, like the mounts will be in there, and then I'll run the cables like through the table and stuff like that. It'll be like a nice thing. So
That's pretty.
yeah.
That's pretty tight. I really want to get one of those. I don't even know what they're called. What's like the light up signs that like look all neon-y?
Neon light up signs.
Do they not have like a name? It's
I think
just
the
that?
description is the name.
Yeah. I want to get one of those with our logo.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be tight, right? Like remove this, put
Yeah.
that there.
Like gas station signs.
Yeah, like a gas
Yeah.
lamp sign. Yeah.
Well, we're not taking that down because that's actually functional.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
It's just there for looks.
Yeah, the diffusion panels on the wall of my studio are just there for looks.
Instantly, we take it down for the aesthetic of a thing, and instantly Ellis starts waking up in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit. Now I want to talk about this email you sent me.
Ooh, I love it. Pick it up. I was trying to open it earlier. That's what was pausing me for everybody listening.
It's okay. I think they're pretty well used to it at this point. So
Nice.
I'm not going to read this whole article because I'm not going to do that.
But you should read most of it.
But I'm going to read some of it.
So the Stars Academy, right? Which one?
The Hill one. Yesterday, I get an email from old Matt over here, and it just says,
Hi.
check these out. And I was like, okay. And it's just a link to all these articles. And here's what all the articles say. They say, first of all, it's just a bunch of photos of like space. And it's like a lot of like The Hill, History Channel, Politico, like pretty serious publications. All these links to all these articles say, friend, foe, or unknown force flying overhead. Congress should find out. TTS Academy has drafted proposed legislation for Congress to consider to ask for a report on making the Navy's UAP findings public. U.S. Navy drafting new guidelines for reporting UFOs. Unidentified inside America's UFO investigation. So it's just all about like, hey,
Everything that I love.
hey, government, stop not telling us about this. So I'm going to read the Hill article, just like the first paragraph. Basically, since 2015, dozens of Navy F-18 fighter jets have encountered unidentified aerial phenomenons, once commonly referred to as UFOs, off the east coast of the United States, some not far from the nation's capital. Encounters have been reported by other military aircraft and civilian airliners elsewhere in the U.S. and abroad too, including videos shot by airline passengers. What these UAPs were and who was flying them, whether friends, foes, or unknown forces, remains a mystery. Yet careful examination of the data inevitably leads to one possible disturbing conclusion. A potential adversary of the United States has mastered technologies we do not yet understand to achieve and capabilities we cannot yet match.
Wait,
So it's basically saying like it's
we
either
have UFO technology.
well, what it essentially what that was saying was like it's either aliens or
It's aliens.
someone else figured out shit that we haven't figured out yet, and that's a kind of a bigger problem. But yeah, it's aliens. Like, come on.
Yeah, like how is it not aliens?
How? First of all, like
Have you been watching any X-Files?
no.
It is aliens.
Well, it's definitely. I don't need to watch the X-Files to believe that it's aliens.
Really?
No, I'm a believer.
Oh, you are. The truth is out there.
The truth is out there.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
No, I don't need to watch the X-Files. I am the X-Files. I'm just kidding.
But
Joe
I wish
Kelly,
I-
Joe
I wish-
Kelly's asleep right now, and he just woke up and was like, "What the fuck?"
I wish I had.
He's like my Boston Joe accent.
Yeah, I wish I had any sort of rhythmic melody because I want to like to hum the theme song. But like I did it in my head, and I was like, "There's just no way." Yeah, yeah, exactly. If
Yeah.
I had tried to do that, it would have sounded horrific.
Just monotone.
It's what it would have sounded like, but in my head, I would have been what you actually did. But I just have enough wherewithal now at 31 to know.
The perception is reality, man.
Hey, isn't that the truth?
Yeah, I think it's aliens, and I don't know if it's because I legitimately believe that or because I just think it's more fun to believe that. Either way, like I am not ruling out the possibility of aliens
For what?
for being here, like being on this, like near or on this planet. Like, do you think the aliens have been like came here like in the 50s or whatever, like with like the Greys, like what people talk about, like
Yeah, I think that. Listen, here's the thing. Everything gets skewed for pop culture.
Oh, yeah.
And everything, and at the end of the day, the reality of what people believe and what actuality is always different.
yeah,
But with that being said, I also wholeheartedly believe that in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, we were not creative as a society because we didn't have social media. We had no real way of communicating laterally. And yet all these people said they saw aliens or saw weird spaceships or UFOs or whatever without the collective consciousness of social media
Sure.
is really hard to buy.
yeah, it's pretty suspect.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like they had to have seen something, right? And whether it was
Yeah.
future tech, like spacecrafts that we created, or actual aliens, to be determined. But then again,
Right.
you would say, why would we have spacecrafts like that we aren't using more commercially then?
Right. If we had like concepts of them 60 years ago, why don't we have functioning versions of them now?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
there's that issue. But like, I wholeheartedly believe that we in the when was Roswell? 40s?
40s or 50s.
I just
I
don't
think 50s,
think
but,
that
yeah.
people pre-color TVs, like mobile phones, could have had the idea of a flying saucer spaceship on multiple points on the planet and
Yeah.
report them. And there's that much just immaculate creativity.
Well, there's a lot of commonality between all of the claims too.
Totally.
And so, like, what you're saying is that it's too much of a coincidence to have happened on too broad of a scale for
Pre-communication technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For it to not be at least somewhat
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just some.
Well, that makes sense. I think that's a reasonable, even if you don't believe in aliens, like that's a reasonable statement. Like,
Yeah, it's just the way, like, logically, right? If you break it
Yeah.
down, like today, you could be like, oh, like all those people just probably like, saw the same Reddit thread and answered that,
Sure.
and answered in the same way, right?
right, but shit like that didn't happen in the 50s. And
Exactly.
also weird, and also like I know that like the crop circle thing has been like in some situations has been proven to be a hoax, but it's like, how did that many of them pop up at at the same time in that broad of an area? Like that's what I'm saying. I'm basically using Signs by M. Night Shyamalan as a documentary here.
Yeah, I mean, but then there's also things like Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Right? There's multiple Stonehenge locations.
Totally.
Right. And how do Mayan ruins have the same exact structure as ancient Egyptian ruins?
Right.
And there's just things like that across the planet. Again, pre-technology, right?
Yeah.
There would be no way for those independent civilizations to have cross-pollinated their architectural designs to build similarly. They would have had to have that inspiration individual of each other, or
Right.
something or someone sent them to show them designs.
I mean, I've been around people. It's way less likely that people across the globe thousands of years ago all had the same idea to design something that was really well put together and
Exactly.
functional than it is to believe that another outside source came and put it
Right.
here or inspired it.
And for the record, I don't even what's the word I'm looking for? I don't take out of the realm of possibility that we are aliens, right? And
Sure.
that those civilizations that died were the people that what we call humans came to this planet and populated with. Possible.
So you're a reptilian.
I'm just saying that I don't believe or not believe anything based solely on mainstream media. I look
sure,
at
that's
things.
fair, yeah.
I look at things and say it's possible. It's possible that we're from Mars. Who knows? Probably not. But we also don't know enough about our galaxy, let alone our solar system, to make any true definitive statements.
Like, how far back are you going in the realm of possibility that we migrated from another planet?
As far back as you can. Here's always this is the easiest way to explain what I'm trying to say. I just hit you. You felt it. So I did something, and you're giving me feedback, and that's how I know it's true.
Sure.
Right? Every scientific test that we've done, biologically, we're able to do that in theory. We cannot do that for things interstellar because
Right.
we have not gotten that feedback yet. So everything in my mind off planet is a hypothesis because we've slapped and we haven't heard back from the other
sure.
side
Yeah.
if they've felt it.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's only in like the scenario of like reaching to see if there's other life currently.
No, I think that says for everything, right?
Yeah.
Because here's another example, right? So they say like a rover on Mars can do the same amount of scientific work that scientists could do in an hour. It takes a week, right? That's the scale. The amount of research that the rover can get in 1 week is what scientists on the planet could do in an hour.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is we could send a scientist there when we get that technology and within a day be like, oh yeah, there's definitely civilizations here. I see a ruined building right there.
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? We just don't have enough
Because
input yet.
A computer can't make sense of what it's seeing. It can only take
Exactly.
in what it's seeing.
We could go to
Yeah.
Titan and find out that the waters of Titan that we believe are oceans of regular H2O water have dolphins in them. We don't know.
Yeah,
because-
yeah.
I'm just saying that there's not enough hard empirical data to make any conclusion about anything yet.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what makes it hard to like.
The only conclusion I can make is that flat earthers are fucking retarded.
Right. Yeah. Oh God. It's just the fact that those people are real. Again, we've talked about this a lot. You can believe what you want, but you also have to accept that there's a possibility, and by possibility, I mean a definite situation that you're wrong. It's like, again, and it goes back to what we were talking about like a couple episodes ago of like, we were talking about like the whole vaccine thing. It's just like, the underlying issue here is not that people don't know, and it's not that there's not information out there to educate people or proof. It's that people are being willfully ignorant about it. And the flat earth thing is just literally people digging in their toes and going, well, I want to disagree. Like, I want to disagree. 'Cause I don't think that anyone actually believes that. And if you do, you're crazy, first of all, which is fine. Like, I respect your choice to be crazy. But, like, it's not for lack of evidence. It's not for lack of proof.
Yes.
For fucking, like,
Yes.
come on. Like,
Yes. Agreed.
it blows my mind. It's like that there is so much evidence and proof and data
that
for
Frost is a
decades.
reptilian.
Yeah, for decades to support so many things through science. The same process that developed the technology that we wear and use every day, all of it comes from ultimately the same source. And you're saying that you don't believe some of it?
Well, people like to...
Doesn't make sense to me. Like,
people enjoy selective choice.
oh, yeah.
Right, and that goes across the board, right? And we're probably guilty of it if we look at ourselves objectively. There's, I think that we're more conscious of it, so overall we probably don't. But there's definitely times that you would use one line of logic to rule something, but when that line of logic impedes your daily needs, you attempt sometimes to justify that alteration.
Yeah,
right? There's just some people that do that to an extreme,
totally.
right? And like getting like just bringing it full circle to what we started honestly on like episode 1 is like you're a perfect example of what not to do when it comes to religion, right? Because the way that you think about it in conjunction with science allows you to keep that linear line
Right.
of both faith and logic, whereas I think some people skew that both ways, right? I mean, listen, I am personally not religious, but I also don't have enough hubris to say that maybe there's something.
Sure.
There's no proof either way. That's how I look at it.
Right.
I'm not an atheist,
No.
right? Because I think atheists are worse than anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the idea of, and I think a lot of people, for the record, people that are listening that say you're an atheist, you're not really an atheist.
Agreed.
You're most likely spiritual that doesn't believe in denominational religion based in Earth's construct
Oh, I
of what that
completely
means.
agree. Well, most people are agnostic who
Yes.
say that they're atheists.
100%.
Because I have
Atheism is actually a religion.
It's well because you're saying, but what you are saying, you are making a definitive claim,
Right.
about something that is not provable. Which there's another word for that, and it's called faith.
Right.
So, fuck all you guys. First of all, you fucking hypocrites. That's what that is. If you want to know,
Right. It
But-
is a religion.
you can call yourself an atheist if you want and claim that it's because you do not believe anything exists, but that takes a level of faith because, again, that's not
I
provable.
wonder if atheists by default now have to be flat earthers.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't know. Drinking, man, we just had Korean barbecue and we drank a bunch of haterade at that meal.
Really?
Shitting on flat earthers, atheists, bringing back up vaccines, shitting on people, just fucking
It was
hating,
fun.
man.
I
love
it.
hating on
I
people.
love hating people, especially
No.
on like a good beef dinner
A good beef dinner.
for all those vegan fuckers.
Oh, yeah.
I just had to add them in there. You know, if we're gonna hate, we have to hate with
Yeah,
equality.
let's go after all of them. Yeah, hate with equality. So
Frost looks like he hates his life right now. What's wrong, buddy? Do you want to do some
right.
push-ups for us? Maybe some burpees.
oh, yeah, no, thank you. Hard
He's like,
pass.
yeah, that's a hard fuck you.
Hard pass. Yeah, it's in the middle. You just pull that panel back, and then the button in the middle.
Yeah, and you
The
have
squ-
to take a swig of whiskey with it.
There you go. Yeah, I just think that a lot of people, you know, without realizing it or not, are really agnostic because they're just saying like what they say to you in conversation is different from what they actually practice and what they actually feel. And I think that if you looked at the evidence that their life produces, a lot of people are saying that they really just don't know what's going on. Like they don't know what's out there. They don't know what is or isn't, you know, and like it takes a certain level of security to be able to admit that, which is why I think a lot of people don't do it, you know.
Interesting.
And Like, it's because it's a scary thing to say that you don't know what's out there. And so I think that there is security in saying that, like, well, this does not exist, or saying, yes, this does exist. You know, because if you're making a definitive statement, then you have something to anchor your belief system to. And, like, I think the reason why I have, even though I'm not agnostic, why I have so much respect for a lot of the people that I know that are agnostic is because they're straight up like, I don't know. I'm okay
Am I
not
agnostic?
knowing.
What am I technically?
I would consider you to be agnostic because you're just saying, like, I don't know what's out there. So I'm willing to
Because
accept.
I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish culturally,
Right.
but I wouldn't say religiously.
Right. Yeah. So, like, you're not a practicing Jew.
No. And I think a lot of it's silly.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I don't, interestingly enough, I don't think faith is silly.
No, not at all. And I
Right.
think that anyone that says that is a liar because faith also exists outside of,
Exactly.
religious context.
Exactly. Also, I was just thinking, I wonder how many atheists have ever done mind-altering drugs.
Oh, no.
Because if you've done acid, mushrooms, DMT, or ayahuasca, and you're an atheist, then you're a liar.
Or you know something we don't, which is way less likely.
Way less likely, but I was talking to one of my buddies today who said that his friend told him a story about a trip he had, DMT trip. When he was on the trip, for people listening that don't know much about DMT, the thing that's most interesting about it is that it lasts for about 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's a really short trip.
But you feel like you've lived an entire life. Time works very strangely in it.
DMT is also the chemical that's released at birth and death in
And
your
a lot of
brain.
people think it's helps you get to other dimensions. The theory that people say.
Who is to say that it doesn't or does? Like,
Exactly.
That's
Well,
DMT
have you watched the
Yeah.
spirit molecule?
Huh.
You would find it fascinating.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan actually narrates it.
Okay.
It's a Netflix documentary on DMT.
Okay.
It's very interesting. But to get back to the trip, my buddy's friend took DMT and said that he got to in the trip he got to these gates. It's like only in real time it was only like 5 minutes in, so he should be deep into this trip.
Right.
And he meets these beings at the gates that say, we can only let you through if you promise to never tell anyone. And he said that, like, while he was there, he said that he wouldn't tell anyone, but he knew he was going to tell everyone, and the beings knew that, and they threw him out of the trip, he said. He said, like, within 5 minutes of taking the drug, when he should have been tripping for 15 to 20 minutes, he was, like, shot back to reality, dead sober, 5 minutes
What?
in. Yeah, crazy.
That's wild.
Wild, right? Right? Like a DMT trip should never only last 5 minutes.
Right.
Ever.
So that could substantiate the claim
That
that
was-
it is
when you do it-
interdimensional travel. Like,
When
yeah.
he told me that, I was like, wait. Are you sure? He literally was like, no, for real. Calls the dude, puts him on speaker, and tells me the exact same story. I was like, well,
That's terrifying.
yeah, that's terrifying, right? Makes me want to do it.
Yeah, for sure. But also it's like super terrifying.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think, again, going back to my logical government kind of thought process on this, I would say it's reasonable, and you tell me if you agree, to say that the government probably knows more about things than we do as average people.
Like, completely. Not only is that reasonable, I think that's absolutely true.
So why would they be experimenting with these mind-altering drugs if they didn't know something about them that we don't know?
Exactly.
That's just kind of the logical thought process there.
Totally. No, I think that it's...
Because for those people that are listening that are like, what are you talking about, Matt? In the 70s?
Well,
80s, 70s, 80s?
Well, if you're talking about like the MK Ultra project
Yes.
and things like that, that's 60s.
60s,
and
wow,
it's-
really?
And it's basic 60s, 70s, and that's basically like LSD experiments on
Exactly.
people that was sanctioned through the government.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so you're doing that, right? I mean, you're doing that, what, 15, 20 years after all these alien sightings, quote unquote?
Yeah, I know. It's too coincidental.
It's like so...
It's too coincidental, man. Like,
and then what, did you find something you didn't want to find and then you shut it down?
Yeah, totally. Because you didn't stop because of ethics. Let's be real.
No. You
That
would have just
shit-
hit it, or maybe
no.
they didn't stop, right? And they just hit it. That's the other side
That's
of it.
more believable.
Yeah, more believable. So Frost, we love to do one-on-one podcasts where we just deep dive into like fun things like this. Ironically, these episodes do really well, which I don't understand.
I don't get it because
Y'all are true nerds on coffee. Y'all are very nerdy.
Yeah,
We get super nerdy. Yeah.
I mean, like we found a way to take all of the things that we would get shunned about reading up on in high school and college and turn it into a creative outlet.
pretty much.
Yeah, but this coffee break is brought to you by Yaya Music.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Do that again on camera.
We got to film this again.
We're going to do it again. So for you guys listening, just rewind and press play. And what I'm about to do is like it
no,
just
I'm
happened
not going to
again.
edit any of this out. I don't care.
Oh, no, I was hoping you wouldn't and that they would actually do it and just be on a time loop.
That's amazing.
So this coffee break was brought to you by Yaya Music. And Frost just recorded us. It's probably going to go all over social media. My
Yeah.
face is banned for life now. I'm really excited.
That's great.
But yeah, so moving.
No, I think moving on or back in?
Back in. Sorry,
I was
sorry.
about to say. I was like,
moving on from the coffee break back into the MK Ultra conversation.
Yeah. The amount of things. Okay, so first of all, I think that there's two sides to look at it, and there's two core myths to me that exist surrounding the information that our government has. And the first myth is to believe that the government is, this omniscient evil entity that is out to get you and that has everyone's demise planned and plotted and is always going to, look out for itself first. And it's like I think that's a myth. Like I think that aspects of that have been blown out of proportion. I think that some aspects of that are true because nothing is perfect in this world, and like the government absolutely is not perfect, especially ours. It's the only one we have, but it's not perfect. And so like I don't think that all of the things that all of these crazy conspiracy theorists and preppers and like all these anarchists people say about our government are necessarily true. But I do definitely think that there's a reason why they're afraid of some of those things because our government has done some really borderline shady shit over the years. Yeah, I do because I know. Texas comes out. And so... I think that's like the first myth is just like it's not as bad as a lot of people think.
I think it was.
It was for sure, but I think that the other myth is that you're naive if you don't believe that the government knows almost everything that we don't.
But to build on that,
for a reason,
But let's build on that even more. Mm-hmm. I think the government doesn't even know what the government does in a lot of circumstances.
No, because you have separate government agencies like the president, like. I legitimately don't think the president knows everything.
No, it's a Manchurian candidate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, there are like, sub offices that operate in our government that like we probably don't even know about. And if we do, we don't know the depths to which they operate.
Yes. Well, I think that a lot of I think the government is a lot of smoke and mirrors in the sense
absolutely
that,
it is.
right, yeah, but for sure. But what more so like when Area 51 was like confirmed, right? All that told me was that Area 51 was not actually where they did any real things of significance.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
There are bases and or secured facilities that are doing experiments, whether it's alien or not.
Sure.
That would blow your mind, right? Like,
yeah.
I would be shocked that if at any given point there isn't at least a dozen places where they're attempting hovercrafts of some sort.
Oh, sure.
Right?
We've
For
probably
sure.
been doing that for decades.
Reverse propulsion engines is like
we've
the
always
only,
been on the brink of that too, and so I just think that like talking about like the naivety of people whenever it comes to not thinking that the government is like hiding shit, which they absolutely are. and there's things that go on in the government that people don't know about, which there absolutely is. I can best describe it this way. So let's pretend that you're in high school or junior high, and a class election comes up, and the popular kids are running to see who's going to be in office for that next school year. And one of them gets this idea and says, hey, I really want to be in office, so let me go without everyone else knowing to this group of people and talk to them about how maybe I can get their vote, get the popular kids on my team. Maybe I can promise them something, some deal, some exchange of goods is made, and then some backdoor, politics is happening to get someone else into office, which they do, but then they have this obligation now to this other smaller party that people don't really know about happened, and they kind of have to fulfill those obligations behind closed doors because they now got what they wanted of being elected. Like, that happens pretty
100%,
pretty routinely.
All the time.
You really don't think that that's going to happen with corrupt adults whenever there's hundreds of millions of dollars on the line? Like,
and more so than when there's hundreds of millions of dollars, when there's power.
That's the thing. So...
or alien technologies.
Are
you a believer in that some of Hollywood is used as dissemination of information?
Of sensitizing the public to things that the government wants us to know about in the future?
Yes.
The fact that I just framed it that way would probably make you think I believe that. I honestly don't know how I feel about that because that's something that's not...
I very much believe that. Whether Hollywood knows they are doing that or not.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
I do think that maybe there's I think, like what Neil deGrasse Tyson said about why the moon landing had to have happened. He has a very interesting quote about it. When somebody asks him, why do you think the moon landing really happened? And his response is pretty interesting. He goes, because it would have taken more collective brain power to hide that than it would be to just do it.
Exactly.
And I think...
Well, and what he's talking about, like the number that he's talking about is because somebody else sat down and did that math, and it would take somewhere around, like, I think 200-something thousand people that would have had to been in on the conspiracy to hide it globally.
Right.
Again, than it would have been to do it.
Right. So similarly, that's why I don't think Hollywood as a whole is in on that. But do I think maybe there could be some rogue writers that, like,
sure,
it's a 1-to-1 with, like, some dude in a black hat in the CIA that says, hey, here's a script that you should write.
Yeah.
And this is why you should write it, and gives them a bunch of money and some things, and then that just becomes a creative sci-fi story, and to everybody else it's just a dope script. Right? That, who knows? Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that I would believe happens regularly, but I wouldn't be surprised if it has happened
more in the past.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like Independence Day kind of feels like that.
You think so?
Yeah, it's like too patriotic. It's like that
Okay, well, we're gonna tell you some shit about aliens, but you have to make America look really good.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, but I didn't know how to say it the right way.
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, exactly. Like that makes it. It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, America can never be the bad guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But
that's funny.
The end of Men in Black 1 with the lockers. That shit makes you feel small. Have you seen Men in Black 1, Frosty? No?
OG Men in Black.
The first one?
Yeah,
where Will Smith opens the locker at the end.
And it's the whole world.
Yeah. It's like all the other universes and shit. That's some craziness.
It's trippy, man. Yeah, it's really weird. Makes you think. Yeah, I can't, I really like talking about stuff like this, but I really have to, limit myself on...
You go down a rabbit hole
because I will plummet into an existential crisis before too long if I go, down rabbit holes without regulation. So, I don't, dive into stuff if we're not talking about it on the show. Very rarely do I go read about something on my own, off when, we're talking about it, because if not, I will get sucked in, and my whole life will be consumed by the fact of, what if, oh my God, holy shit. I'll just freak out about everything. because I have a super overactive imagination, and it's also not hard for me to like believe things that are presented in like reasonable ways. So someone like, even if your argument, the thing that you're trying to convince me of, is like total horseshit, if you present it in a really good way, like I'll entertain it.
Yeah,
You know,
I feel that.
but I know that about myself, and so it's really like, again, like doesn't matter what it is. If you present it in a really good way, I will at least entertain it. You know, so
I feel that.
that's why I don't go down like deep dives into like ancient aliens and stuff, because I'm like,
Oh, it's so
I'm
fun.
already like intrigued enough to
but
be like,
what if
yeah,
it were true?
yeah, exactly. I'm just like, yeah, that's where I am now. I'm like, yeah,
Dude, we gotta get the podcast big just to get Giorgio Tsoukalos on.
oh, I know. He doesn't even have to come on the show. We can just hang out with him, and that would be enough for me.
Oh my god.
We'll take a
Do you
photo.
know who Giorgio is, Frosty? Oh my god. Have you ever watched the show Ancient Aliens?
On the History Channel.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun tonight. It's so great. But yeah, I think I mean I feel that sentiment, but on the flip side of it, I kind of like getting into existential crisis.
Sure, yeah.
Like it makes you. I feel like it's like a sober way of tripping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get
like
that.
if you get so deep into it for like a day or two.
Oh yeah, your whole perspective is warped for everything
Warped.
you do. Yeah, someone emails you like, "Hey man, like I need some like 4 more CO2 tanks," and you're like, how do you know what's in there? It just affects your responses to everyone.
Oh, I could just see them be like, "What do you mean, dude?
What
What's
are you
in
talking
there?
about?
Fucking compressed air, fucker."
Yeah.
But how do you know
How
that?
do you know that that's what it is? And like whenever your artist is on stage and you're gonna blow like CO2 out, how do we know that it's not gas that like North Korea put in there as like a mind controlling agent? And then it's like you go way left
And
field.
then you get a phone call that says, "Hey man, I think you should stay home on this run."
Yeah.
we got a really weird email from the production manager.
and then you wake up the next morning, you went on his Amazon binge you don't even know about. You have a bunch of Flat Earth Society gear show up to your house, and you're just like a bunch of anti-vax propaganda, and you're like, fuck, I'm one of them now. That's what happens if you go too deep into conspiracies, man.
Yeah, it's like
You're one of them.
it's like what Robert Downey Jr. said. Don't go full retard.
No, you never.
Sean Penn went full retard.
That's right.
Came home empty-handed.
Yeah, jump in. I am Sam. Yeah.
You know what that's from? Oh, Frosty, you have so much nerdy pop culture to educate you on.
I think he's just too tired, but he laughed at it, which means I feel like you get the
it's objectively
reference.
funny
Oh, it's super
saying
funny.
that.
That's from
There's
Tropic
a movie
Thunder.
called Tropic Thunder, yeah, where Robert Downey Jr. plays a black guy
In blackface.
in blackface.
And this movie came out in 2007.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah.
It's Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr., and Ben Stiller. It's fucking hilarious.
Matthew McConaughey's in it too.
Oh yeah, Matthew McConaughey is in it.
Tom Cruise
Yeah,
is in it.
it's shit's the funniest thing ever. And basically, Ben Stiller's character, he plays an actor in the movie.
They all play
They all play
actors
actors.
in the movie. Yeah,
But Ben Stiller's character played a retard in another movie. Yeah,
like full blown
retard.
like, yeah.
And he like in like that role like tanked his career, and he was like a rising star, and like he didn't understand why. And Robert Downey Jr. in blackface just looks at him dead face and goes, "You never go full
Like,
retard."
you never go full retard. Like
Sean Penn went full retard.
Went-
Came home empty-handed.
Yeah, he's like, look at Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, look retarded, act retarded, not retarded.
Didn't make Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh wait, and what?
Was eating Gilbert Grape.
Oh yeah,
Was he full retard?
Weird.
yeah, that's too.
Was he? I don't know if I've seen that.
That's adolescent though, which is a little different. Like
But wasn't he nominated for a Grammy on that? I mean,
or an Academy.
Oscar?
Yeah. Which I mean, obviously he didn't win until The Revenant, which was the whole thing. But like not even for Django. Like that was like Titanic. Nothing. Dude came up in empty-handed every year.
Yeah, it's because Rose let go.
That's right. Fuck her.
Rose did let go. That's unreal.
It's her fault. The dumb bitch.
But I don't know. Did he go full retard in that? Because Tom
went-
Hanks went
he went-
very close to full retard in Forrest Gump.
Is the word?
Well, I'm just using the terminology from the movie right now.
Yeah.
Did you watch Forrest Gump? Because Tom Hanks did not go full retard, but he went very
More
close.
like Asperger's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Leo went full retard in his.
Oh yeah. What's eating Gilbert Grape is like full on. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, but it's also Leo.
It's also Leo.
He's a great
man.
white buffalo.
That's right. This is also really.
Dates women under 25.
Really?
Oh,
Chart on it. I'll share it with you.
No way.
Analysis.
that's amazing,
Is this your mic drop leaving right now?
20 through 25. I'm gonna get some water.
dude. That's incredible. Well, on that note, I think you should all go look up all of Leonardo DiCaprio's former flames and then submit their ages in a comment.
Oh my god. Obviously, all of Leonardo's flings are listening because this is the most popular Leonardo DiCaprio podcast.
Yeah, dare I say the only one. Yeah.
But no, for real. Thanks, guys, for listening to me ramble about space and aliens. I don't know why I was feeling so into it. Maybe it's because I've been writing a bunch of new stories revolving around it.
Yeah, they'll do it.
But yeah, this was therapeutic. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Dr. Perrin.
Yeah.
I appreciate the therapy session.
We yeah, I'm a doctor the same way Dr. Phil's a doctor.
That's
I'm
a
not,
great doctor.
I'm not.
No, you are.
So
You're wearing the glasses.
yeah,
You're like a hipster
I
doctor.
need them. I need the glasses.
You look like a hipster doctor right now.
Thanks.
Yeah, like you're wearing like neutral tones, but you have sleeves.
Yeah.
You have a beard and glasses.
Yep.
You talk only in holistic ideals.
All right. If you say so.
See? All right, there we go. Point in
If
case.
you say so. Yeah, whatever you think, man. It's just all about finding that balance, you know?
Oh, that's amazing.
Excellent. Well, yeah, short, fun episode. Talk about aliens and shit. Do your own research.
Don't listen to us.
Yeah, don't listen to us. Do your own research. Look it up. And then
Tell us what you think.
write in. And if you have something that you think would be good for us to talk about, we'll have our executive producer review it.
And if you find any proof of aliens, submit it, and you can win a bag of chimney coffee.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be good proof, though.
I mean,
Like-
I'll buy them the bag of chimney coffee just
Yeah.
for anything. Even if the proof
1000%.
isn't good, but really well packaged, I'm in.
Yep.
Like, I just want to see the effort.
Agreed.
You know, like, I doubt any of our listeners can find any legitimate proof, but I want to see how creative they can get about presenting
You know,
it to
that's
us.
the right way to prompt someone into doing something is to antagonize them into proving you wrong. But
I'm just playing chess.
I doubt you can do it.
Yeah,
I don't
fuck
think
you.
you can. Having said that, I believe in you. Follow your dreams.
Find us, aliens. Bye.